Live. Are you going live?
And we are live.
Live. We are live. Y'all?
We are live, y'all.
Yeehaw!
Yeehaw!
New Englanders can't do that, Paul. I'm sorry. I made a pig's
Come
breakfast
on now.
We go, yeah.
Yeah.
That's wicked.
All right. Let's say hello to some folks.
You have
Hello,
a lot
folks.
of people in your parking lot.
I do. First one in here, I do believe, was MA Lyman 24.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Nice.
Then we have Jimmy Cloak.
Hey, Jimmy.
Adventures in Michigan with Lisa. Lisa, welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Hi, Lisa.
I believe this is Lisa's first time in here.
I don't think I have subscribed. Lisa, I will subscribe to you after this.
Yes, guys, please share, as Audra says, share the love. Subscribe to everybody that's in the chat tonight. There's that sorry rascal American Woodland Relics. Dad, young, who let him in?
I hear
When
he has
did
a
you
good
let
beard,
him in? Do what, Jonathan?
You have a righteous beard, Paul.
Thank you. Then we have Miss AWR. Oh, there's Mark, the bird hunter.
Mark. Hello, Mark.
Jimmy
I want to see
Cloak.
more bike videos, Mark. Please.
Owen Borden. Welcome. Why, there's Javier Garcia.
Hello, Olin. And hello, Javier.
Miss Dawn Williams. Welcome, Dawn.
Hello, Miss Dawn Williams.
Bernadette. Welcome.
Bernadette.
Says, hey, Uncle Paul.
Oh.
So it's got to be one of my nephews.
Bernadette. That's a nice French name. Not that she's French.
Marty is nuts about digging.
There's Marty.
Welcome, Marty.
Marty earlier. Hi, Marty.
Tom Kingery. Welcome, Tom. Appreciate you coming in.
Hi,
there's
Tom.
Kane beeping.
Hi,
hey,
Kane.
bud.
I always refer to Kane beeping as. I'm sorry. I always refer to Kane beeping as Kane, but I know that's not his first name. Or do I have that? No, I'm almost positive it's not his first name. But hello, Kane beeping.
Bobby with Underground Buddha. Welcome, Bobby.
Hi, Bobby.
Thank you, sir. Odies and goodies.
I've heard of that guy.
I have too. Could it be Uncle Al?
Uncle Fred?
Uncle Fred?
Uncle Wilbur. Uncle Wilbur.
Al, I appreciate you coming in, my friend. All right.
And I chatted with Al earlier, and hopefully he's going to also, in chat, add his thoughts to grade coins, because he knows his coin grades.
Yes, he does. Dennis, DF Digger, welcome.
Hello, Dennis.
I think I'm caught up.
Look at it. You've got a great crowd here. What great people.
I've got 14 in chat.
Nice. Well done, all of you.
Very nice. Thanks, guys. Appreciate y'all coming in. Marty's going to get in trouble.
Oh, what is Marty up to now? Those Nova Scotians, you know.
He said, Odies and goodies. Who? Ezra. Welcome, Ezra. Easy digging.
Hi, Ezra. feel like I have to crack my knuckles, but they're not cracking. It's getting old, I guess.
Oh my.
Yes.
I just lost my train of thought.
Oh.
Well.
Train derailed. That's okay. Well, what are we doing tonight, Mr. H?
We are going to grade some coins out of our own collection. These have not been slabbed or graded.
Nope.
These are just random coins we pulled out of our collection. And we're going to look at some details and point out some areas to look for on these coins. And we're going, I've got an old, it's the 30th edition, 1977 Red Book.
It's a classic.
It is a classic.
The information.
But Jonathan and I compared the information, and his book and my book are exactly the same. They both say the same thing, and we're going to let Jonathan kick us off, and we'll talk about his coins.
Oh, we're doing mine first. Okay.
Yep.
Well, so what we'd like to do. So Paul's resource is the Red Book, which if you're grading American coins, if you're collecting American coins, if you have anything to do with American coins, that, in my opinion, is the number one resource you should have. There's a lot of great information in there. I'm using an additional resource. And if you saw our last stream, it's the same book. It's the A&A Grading Standards for United States Coins. Not a terribly expensive book. I think it's I'll look for you. $19.95 is the retail price. You can probably get it cheaper some places. It is spiral bound, and so it lays nice and flat. Has nice color pictures in there. So we figure we'll look at the coin, and between what Paul can do on his end with research and what I can do in this book, we should be able to come to some agreement as to what the grade is based upon those points, those characteristics on the coin. So let me change cameras and I'll get to my microscope so you can see what we're looking at. I don't know if you've seen this coin either, Paul. So this is fresh for you, right?
Okay, yeah, I guess so.
All right. So here we go to my microscope. Okay. So this is a Buffalo nickel, of course. And
1920.
1920. There's F for Fraser, the engraver. And so, okay, we have some on the obverse, and I'll show you the reverse as well. By the way, none of these coins are remarkably valuable. I can tell you that now. So I don't have gloves on or anything. So there's the reverse.
Well, you got a coin that a lot of people may never see with a date.
That is true. And that is because this is one of the high points in the design of the coin. Even though there's a rim right near here, the purpose of a rim on a coin is to protect all the details. But when they designed it, the surfaces of the numbers line up with the surfaces of the rim. So as the rims wore down on these coins, so did the date. And nickels back in the teens, 20s, 30s, they were real workhorses. They saw a lot of use, so they got a lot of wear. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's start with the obverse. I have a feeling, and I haven't looked it up either, Paul, but I have a feeling that the books are going to refer us to the Buffalo, but I could be wrong. Let's see. So I'll look in my book, you look in yours. We'll start with you. You tell us what you see for.
Well,
or I'll flip it over. See, when I look at Buffalo nickels, This is the big
Yeah.
thing I look for, the horn. The horn tells you a whole lot. How much of that horn can you see? Because that's another high point on the coin. So let's take a look at our books and see what we have.
All right. Good reads legends and date readable. Horn worn off. No.
Okay,
It's
so strike out
still
good.
there. That's
Go
for
up a
good.
notch.
All right. Very good. Says half a horn shows. I still say a full horn.
Yeah, I can even zoom in closer since we're... Okay.
All right. And then fine says 2/3 of the horn shows.
Well, if this were a nice clean strike, you would see a little tip to the horn there.
Mm-hmm.
So, but 2/3, I think we can go beyond that.
Yeah. And also it says for fine, obverse rim intact.
The obverse rim is intact. Well, I think that's a yes, but let's go back to the obverse and see what we have. So yeah, the rim is intact. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not mushed down. Okay.
No. So we can step up a grade.
Yes.
The very fine full horn shows Indian's cheekbone worn.
All right. Well, yeah. There's some. That's another high point.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's one. And full horn.
Yep. Full horn.
Yeah, I'd say it's a full horn.
That's about as close as you're gonna get.
Yep.
And then extra fine says full horn slightly worn on Indian's hair ribbon.
Okay, that's this part. So the ribbon, the Native American has a braid, and on the braid right there, I'll zoom in. That's the ribbon there. So the braid would be tied with a ribbon, and that dangles down there and dangles down there. So what does it say about the ribbon, Paul?
Slight wear on Indian's hair ribbon.
Okay, well, you can see it. You can see a little bit of the separation there, but it's quite a bit. I wouldn't call that, to be conservative, I wouldn't call that slight wear. But that being said, you can see the top of the ribbon, and you can see the bottom of it. You can certainly make it out.
Yep.
All right. Well, in my book, it says that was extremely fine.
That was extra fine.
Okay. So in this book, it says extremely fine, very light wear on the highest points. Hair and face are lightly worn but well defined and bold. Slight wear shows on lines of hair braid. All right. Slight wear shows on the lines of the hair braid. Oh, there's certainly some wear there. And the obverse, it says the hair. I'm sorry, the hair. The hair, the horn, and the flank, which I guess is right there, are lightly worn. So I think to be on the safe side, even though this could hit extremely fine, I would feel better off grading it very fine. So in very fine, there are two grades. There's very fine 20, which is the lower very fine grade, and the very fine 30 is the upper. And very fine 30 in this book says, I have to go back to the obverse.
And that is a Philadelphia?
Yes, it is.
No mint mark.
No mint mark.
63,093,000 of them were minted.
So very fine 30 says hair shows nearly full details. Well, has some wear there. Feathers and braid are worn but sharp. Okay, well, that feather really doesn't seem to be worn. And the braid, there's some wear to the braid, but you can make out, again, the ribbon, that braid, that.
You can tell it's braided hair.
Right. And as far as the reverse, it says head, front leg, and hip are worn. The head, the front leg, and the hip are worn. Well, I mean, there's some detail there. So, yeah, there's wear, but there's detail. Horn is worn, but distinct on coins that are well struck. So I think in this case, I'd call this very fine 30. Because it certainly meets all those criteria.
Yep. And then mine's got a little thing down bottom says things to look for. The 1937 D is has an air with a 3-legged buffalo. And the 1938 D, look for a D over S variety.
Oh, D, yeah. So they punched the S in the die and then decided, nope, this is Denver. And they put a D over it.
Yep.
Mark the Berg Hunter says, you guys are making me want to go get my 2022 Red Book and play along. Mark, that's the reason why we're doing this. We want you to do this too. And Mike says, I'd say very fine 38. I think he means very fine 30. $10. I don't even remember how much I paid for this. Oh, in fact, I do remember where I got this. This was given to me by a friend who's no longer with us.
I want to say, Kane, have a good evening. Appreciate you coming in. Mike says, very fine 38.
So there you go. That's the buffalo. So that's how we would look at the buffalo and grade it.
All right.
So obviously, if somebody had this on eBay or at a coin store or wherever, and they said it's about uncirculated, you can say no and tell them why. All right. Well, it looks like you have one of those old-fashioned Washington quarters.
Yes. Let me do this right here.
Thanks, Don.
Martinsburg, I'm pushing buttons. All right. We have a 1963 quarter.
All right. That's 90%. Can you show us give us a nice view of the obverse and reverse? Let's see what we have. So, okay, this is the braid. We see some details in the hair. We can see the curl above his ear. The motto looks good. The date looks good. The legend looks good. And there's the eagle. Everything looks good there. Little bit of contact between the U and United and the rim, but not bad at all. And we see some feather detail. Okay. And there's the mint mark. Okay.
There we go. All right, a 1963 Denver.
All right, well, one of the benefits of this book is that it has pictures, and I'm looking at the pictures, and I think that's better than fine. So I'm now looking at very fine.
Can't say it.
And based upon what I remember seeing about your coin, I'm going to at least start with very fine, and then we can go up from there. So very fine says, on the obverse, 3/4 of the lines still show in the hair. The cheek is lightly worn but bold. Some hair details around the ear are visible.
Yep.
Now, I don't think on Washington quarters, I don't think there's a lot of hair detail anyway on a typical coin. Maybe on the proof, but I think in general, it's not like a large cent or something like that. We can really get the details. Do you think 3/4 of the detail are there?
I'd have to. I don't know, John.
Okay, well, let's go to Fine. Fine says details show only at back of the hair. And if you look at his temple and go back from there, there's wavy. Yeah, right there. There's waves there in his wig. I assume that's his wig.
Yeah.
So I think it's better than Fine. Cheek lightly worn but bold.
It's definitely bold, but you can see a little flat spot right there.
Yeah, but you can see that that ridge that runs under his eye and kind of goes down to his nostril. At least I can.
Yep. Right there.
All right, and on the back of the coin, I'm reading about Very Fine 20. Wear shows on breast, but a few feathers are visible.
There's one in there I can see. Right there.
Okay. The legs are worn smooth.
Well, they look pitted, but got a big old gouge right there. Somebody tried to cut his leg off.
Yeah, you wouldn't count that. And as far as the wings, most details on the wings are clear. So I don't think there's so much talking about the feathers, but the tips. So top, bottom, the curvature underneath. Yeah, I think it's there.
Yeah.
Most details are clear.
Got definition of feathers too.
Right.
In the inner wing part.
Well, jumping up to, that was Very Fine 20, Paul. Very Fine 30 says, all the vertical wing feathers are plain. Most details in the leg are worn smooth. So looking at, as it's oriented now, looking at the left side of the coin, you see some wear there? Yeah, right there. So all vertical wing feathers are plain. Well, I don't think it would hit that because you have some, especially the bottom. And towards the edge, you have some wear. So again, to be conservative, I would say, according to this book, that's a Very Fine 20 quarter.
All right. All right. Let's get back.
So that's, let me get back to here.
Let's see. Let's say hello to some folks right quick. I see David Alfonsetti. Welcome,
David?
welcome. My nephew finally used his real name. Casey, welcome. Gene P, welcome. And I did say goodbye to Kane. I don't believe we about caught up. Jimmy Cloak says, Paul, I sold a 8 real I found on the beach for $100 Canadian 3 years ago. I wish I have done that. It's probably not done that.
Oh boy.
Janet Chapman, welcome. Welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight. We're
Jimmy,
going over some. Go ahead, Jonathan.
Now I was gonna say, Jimmy, if that 8 real had some detail to it, if you could read the date on it, I would argue that would be more than a $100 coin even 3 years ago. Somebody got a bargain, I think. Now, if it was really worn, if it had saltwater damage, if it was scratched up, that's a different story. Jimmy, did you find that in Nova Scotia? I think Jimmy's in Nova Scotia.
Yes, he is.
He is? Did you find it up
And
that
I
way?
think he did say something about he found it over there.
What's that
He's up
island
there
that
with
has
Marty.
What's that island that has the treasure on it?
I will not speak that name.
Oh, but
Oak Island.
Oak Island. I was going to say you weren't detecting around that Oak Island, were you?
He said
Well,
it was
supposedly
1794.
1794. Wow. Well, Jimmy, that just means you have to go back out there and find another one.
Well, I tell you what, if I find something 1700, y'all would never hear about it. I'd die of a heart attack.
Oh, jeez.
Blenda would be responsible telling you.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, me. All right, what we got here, Jonathan?
All right, this is a Liberty seated dime, and there are two in general, there are two different designs. The older design has United States of America on the obverse, and that's the newer design. The older design has either nothing where these stars are, or of course it has stars. This one I got from Mantic Coins back when they had auctions, and I got this from Shay. So what do you think?
Well, we can definitely omit it's higher than a good, because a good's Liberty on shield, smooth, date and letters, readable.
Okay, here, I'll do
Let's
this.
jump up to very good.
Let me show you the
at least as well. 3 letters in Liberty. Whoa, wait a minute. We got way more than 3 letters. Let's jump up to fine. Fine says entire Liberty visible with weak spots.
I think you hit it, because we have LIBERTY, but the TY is weak.
So that was fine. Extra fine says entire Liberty strong and even.
No, I wouldn't say that.
No.
That took care of it right there.
Yep. All right. So, and that mine don't give like 30s or 60s or 70s, whatever.
So
that's all it says.
What you just read was fine.
Yes.
Let me
entire Liberty visible with weak points.
Okay. So in this book, it says on the obverse, this is for fine 12, some details show in the hair, the cap, and at the shoulder and breast. And the hair, well, I'm going to focus in a bit more. This is it's a dime, obviously. It's a tiny coin. Okay. Is there hair detail? Yeah, there is just a bit. She looks like she's bald, but there's hair detail there.
She kind of looks like me up here.
Well, you wear it well, Paul. I don't think a lady would want to.
No.
Cap. So the cap is on the post. So is there detail on the cap? Yeah, you can see the interior, and you can see a little fold up there.
A little right fold, yes.
Okay. And at the shoulder and breast. And the chest.
Now, let's keep this PG.
Yep. I'm just reading what the ANA standards are. But there's a little detail there. And on the chest, there's some detail. Looks like she could be wearing a bikini if we cut her off here, right? Letters in Liberty are weak but visible. And that's what the Red Book says. Okay,
All
now let's look at what it says about the reverse.
Hello,
Hi,
Nancy. Welcome, welcome.
The reverse says some of the details in the leaves are visible. Okay, well, I would agree with that. I mean, down there, for example, we see separation there in those leaves. The bow is outlined but flat. Okay, I'd actually say it's not flat because we have detail there, detail there, detail there.
Mm-hmm.
Leaves are separated. Okay, yeah, I think the leaves are separated. You know, they're not all worn down. Letters in legend are worn but clear. Well, we clearly see United States of America.
Yep, plain as day.
Yep. So I would agree with you. I think this would hit fine without any problems.
All right. I see Dana Reed has slipped in. Thank you for joining us. I was laughing because Mark Berg said, I swear, Paul, I was not going to say anything about her chest.
Oh, yes, he was. Paul.
I know Mark better than that.
I was going to say, do you believe that for a second?
Mark, you're thinking too loud, buddy.
Mark would say it with humor and respect, but he'd say something about her chest. And again, I'm just reading what it says there. Okay, I can show you.
All right. Now, I apologize. This coin will not fit completely on. I'd have to raise my camera 6 foot. Let's add it in here. All right.
All right. Who in the chat knows what that is? Just looking at the front. Everybody should be chiming in on that one. You don't have to write
it. It is a 1938.
So let's let's kind of just follow the rim around the. I missed the top. I'm sorry. Right. So the date's clear.
Got a little damage right there.
I see some detail in the chest.
Yep.
And
good. Got some stars.
Yeah, it certainly does. And we're seeing some detail in the drapery. That's good.
Yep. Look at that sandal right there.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah.
Got some great detail right there.
There you go. The motto, "In God We Trust," nice and clear.
There was something else I was reading about it.
Yo, Mark, what do you think of this chest? Yo, Marky.
All right, let's flip it over. We'll go around the rim.
All right. Okay, the claws and the detail on the legs. Got some. Not a lot, but some.
E pluribus unum looks good.
Feather detail on the wings, about half there. There, not so much on the chest of the bird.
No.
And the beak details, a little bit. It's certainly worn. I'm laughing at Mark's comment.
I see it.
I opened the door. Mark walked through it. What can I say? Okay.
All right. I'm trying to find this coin in my book.
I would start with very good and go from there. I think it's going to be somewhere in that ballpark. So, do you want me to read very good 8 reverse, what it says in my book?
Yes, if that's what you want to do.
Very good 8. It says about 1/3 of the feathers are visible. So let's get the eagle in a more of a centered view. 1/3. I'd say that's about 1/3 to 1/2. And large feathers at the ends of the wings are well separated. Now, looking at the eagle's left wing, the bigger one, yeah, I'm seeing separation there. Yep. Maybe inside towards the tail, it's a little bit that those 2 feathers are worn. Those 3 feathers are worn, but there's separation. And certainly on the other side, below E pluribus unum, they're all separated. The separation there. Yep. The eye is visible. Uh-oh, I don't think you're going to hit that one, though.
No.
You know what, though? It is visible because I would say the eye is visible. It's not worn flat. The rim is full, and all letters are clear.
We have good letters.
I agree with you. They're not worn into the rim. The rim is, it took a ding, but you don't count that as, well, you count that, but.
The F looks a little, F and D looks a little flat.
Yeah, I think that's, again, because it took a hit, not so much because of where.
No comment,
Mark. So far, the reverse, I think, hits very good 8. Let's look at the obverse description. The entire design is weak. And I'm going to just kind of disagree with that because look at the chest.
Yep.
Under the arm that's stretched out. There's drapery detail there.
Drapery.
Yeah. Most details in the gown are worn smooth except for coins after 1921.
It's not completely worn smooth.
On which half the stripes must show. And I think half the stripes show there. The leg right under 1930, the 193. If you follow that leg up, you see there are some stripes there.
Mm-hmm.
Now those are worn, but the rest of the stripes show. So we're in the ballpark.
Yep.
The date and all letters are clear. However, top of motto may be weak. And the motto was "In God We Trust." So the top may be weak.
It got some wear in it.
Yeah. Drapery across body. Drapery across body is partially visible. And so the body from the waist up, I'm going to guess they're talking about, because below the waist, they're talking about the stripes. The drapery above the body, drapery across the body is partially visible. And I would say, yeah, you're seeing drapery there. You're seeing the folds in the cloth. Look under her arm. Yeah, right there. That's what I was looking at. Paul, I would be comfortable saying this is a very good 8.
Good.
Now, we could read fine as far as overall condition, as far as the market grading, and they would probably take a little bit off if, for that at about 1 o'clock where that ding is. So they probably, even if it approached fine, they would bring it down to very good because of that. So very good 8. That sounds good to me.
Sound good to me too. All right, let's get back. All right, come on.
All right. Next,
All right, John, what we got?
we have a coin.
A coin.
And it's from America.
Silver? Of course it's.
Who knows what design that is?
Anybody in the chat know what design that is? Belinda said coinage.
It is that. Mark has
Ding,
it's
ding.
a barber.
A baba.
Mark found a barber, not well. This didn't you find one this spring, Mark? All right, so barber. Well, I'm going to let you grade this one, Paul, but I'll flip to the page too. And so there is the obverse, and we'll focus on here. So there's a lot of the pickup points are there. Certainly.
Yeah.
It's got an ugly scratch there. There's the rim. There's the date, of course. There's the motto.
All right.
Now
Well,
let's flip the back.
Good says, man, that's the lettering on that reverse is awesome. Stars are good.
There's another pickup point there.
Yeah.
And there. And there.
All
and there.
right.
Okay. So we'll start with the obverse.
All right. Good. Date and letters, plain.
They're talking about obviously that and these letters.
Yep.
Okay.
And says Liberty over brow is obliterated.
Yeah. See, Liberty, you can see right there, there's a B. So obviously it'd be Liberty. There's a wreath. And then there's, I guess, a ribbon.
Right under the stem.
Yeah, exactly. So all we have is a B. Maybe we can barely make out an I, but we have a B. So, yeah, there's no liberty there.
Let's check out. Very good. At least 3 letters. Excuse me. 3 letters in Liberty visible.
No, I'll even zoom in just to show. That would be a no. I mean, the B you can even barely make out. Looks like a D.
Yeah.
So I don't think you can hit that grade.
No.
That wouldn't be right to call it that grade. So I think the original grade that you were looking at, Paul, you got it right. And that was good. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's flip her over.
Looter 8, welcome.
And I'll zoom in a bit.
Coming in.
Because I'm sure the grade is going to hit the eagle. So this ribbon says E pluribus unum. We have R, B, U. Well, I don't see the U. And there's the U, N, and unum. And the shield is pretty much worn. Well, it is worn, not pretty much worn. So what does good say for the reverse?
That's all mine had.
Oh, okay. So good for the reverse. In this book, it says the eagle is worn flat, but is completely outlined. All right. It's practically worn flat. I mean, sure, you see some details there, but I don't think enough to go above that. The ribbon is worn nearly smooth. Yeah, it is worn nearly smooth. You have some lettering there, but it's pretty much worn smooth. The legend is weak, but visible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's visible.
Let's say goodnight to Jimmy Cloak.
Bye, Jimmy. The rim is flat but complete. Well, we see some detail on the rim.
Yep.
Denticles, but it's pretty much flat. I mean, Very Good 8 says the eagle shows only a small amount of detail. All right, maybe the reverse would hit that. The arrows and the leaves are flat.
Yep.
Yeah, they are that. Part of the eye is visible. Nope. So this does not hit very good. So that we concurred, I think, that it's good for.
Yep. Good.
And look at the flip. Look at the flip. Nice job. Well, we agree. That's
Yep.
waited a while. I did grade this one. I graded it good for.
Okay.
All right. That's a barber.
All right.
How are we doing for time, Paul? I don't want to overrun whatever time you
We are
budgeted.
We got 15 minutes.
Okay.
All right. Jump in here and bring Mr. Benjamin Franklin up.
Benjamin.
Ben is in the house. (1963) style, which is the last year of what? Well, it was, yeah.
Yep, 63 is the last year. Kennedy was assassinated in 64, and they... Well, no, Kennedy was assassinated in 63. No, he was assassinated in 64, I believe.
So
anyway, it was a Kennedy in 64.
Yep. Hey, Mark Thomas, have you got your stickers yet?
Hi, Mark. Mark says PCGS Photograde disagrees. How with the barber? And how so, Mark? And I'm wondering if PCGS would give it an upgrade or a downgrade. Oh, Mark above said Very Good 8, not a penny
Very
less.
good.
Well, that does sometimes happen. Coins get graded and they try to inch it up a bit. I think it's better to grade conservatively, personally. All right, so we have a 1963. Now, were you going to give this away at one point
Yes.
for your trivia
Yes.
night?
It's still whoever draws me. We'll talk about it here in a little bit.
No, I because I was not watching live. I watched the replay and I thought, whoa, what a nice prize.
So we'll talk about that here in a little bit. Mark is the first one to get one of my hologram Team AWR stickers.
Nice, Mark.
Sadly,
Bird
Mark
Hunter or Thomas?
Mark Thomas.
Okay.
Mark Thomas cannot win another AWR hologram sticker. There will be 25 winners with these hologram stickers. And whoever draws the number one sticker, they have numbers on them, will win this 1963 Benjamin Franklin $50. All right.
That's a great way of doing it. All right. Well, let's take a little trip around.
Take
the
a
rim
tour around the
Yeah. All right.
rim.
I see some hair detail. I see his ear. I see the eye. The rim is complete. Letters look good.
Letters look real good. Date looks good.
I see some folds in his scarf.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see the back of the coin.
All right. Oh, we got a Liberty Bell.
All right. And I think last time we looked at one of these, we talked about that beam, that
That
wooden
beam right there.
yoke that holds the bell. Okay.
Yep.
We see the straps on there. See a little bit of the horizontal lines going across.
Yep.
Okay. I
Wood
like
grain.
that. And of course, there are the bell lines that we want to look for.
All right. There's the crack.
All right. And you can just make out the shadow of the bell lines. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, I am going to look at fine. I'm going to say this is fine to very fine. Let's see what fine says. So let's flip it back to the obverse if you'd be so kind. Okay, the obverse, fine 12. Hair details show only at back and the side of the head. So in other words, he had kind of a high forehead, but any details on the up top, I guess? Not really. Okay.
No.
Could be. Designer's
No.
initials are weak.
To me, they're very strong.
Yeah, but clearly visible. I agree with you. You can see them. Part of the cheek is worn flat. I think that's kind of a silly characteristic.
Yeah. Maybe right in there.
Yeah, but if you go northwest from where you're pointing, I see that detail on the cheek, though.
Yep.
Up towards the ear, yeah. So I think you might get higher than fine on this one. Now let's look at the reverse. The reverse says most lines at the bottom of the bell are worn smooth. Well, the lines are certainly worn smooth. I don't really. You can just see the shadow of the lines there.
Yeah.
Parts of the straps on the beam are nearly smooth. And the straps are clear. Well, I mean, they're worn, but they're clear. You can make them both out.
Yeah.
And the rim is full. And the rim is certainly full. That is a nice strong
Yes,
rim.
the rim is.
Okay. So I'd say at a bare minimum, Paul, this is going to hit fine. But let's go up to very fine 20. And the reverse, it says, wear shows on the beam, but most of the details are visible.
There's some detail.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. And look at the bottom corners. You see those brackets.
Yep.
And up top, you see, I assume what would be bolts or something like that.
Yep. Right there where the D is.
Yep. The bell is worn but bold. You can make out the bell completely. I mean, there's no question. You can see it's, not only can you see its detail, but you can see its outline, but you can see some detail in it.
Yep.
Up at the top, you can see where the inscription would have been.
Right there.
The lines across the bottom of the bell are flat near the crack. Okay, that might be a little bit of a stretch because I don't see any of the lines really. I mean, again, you can make them out on, as it's oriented now, on the right side.
Yeah, some but right there.
You can see some. You can see some. Yeah. All right, let's flip it over. Let's look at the obverse. I just saw Mark's. Yeah, very fine 18.3. Well, I'm reading very fine 20, Mark. I think you hit it, Mark. Okay, on the obverse, it says 3/4 of the lines still show in the hair.
I would say at least half of it.
Yeah, I especially the back, whereas kind of, I don't know what you'd call it, as mullet or whatever.
This area right here.
There's a lot of there's a lot of detail there. I think 3/4 hits there. Up above, you're really looking at the back of the head because, I mean, he had,
that's the highest I see is right there.
Yeah, and go down a little bit. Yeah,
Right
so
in here.
you have 3/4 of those details showing in towards the back, so I'm okay with that. The cheek is lightly worn but bold. And I guess that's what I was getting at earlier. You can see that middle between, kind of the top of the ear and then it goes towards the mouth. Little depression there.
Yeah.
That's there. Some hair details around the ear are visible.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what I just read is very fine 20. So I'd be okay calling this coin very fine 20. Or as Mark said, very fine 18.3.
2.0.
I like Mark's detail. He's going with 1/10 of a decimal, so we'll go with that.
All right.
No, that's a nice one.
That is a nice one. Somebody's gonna have that mailed to them.
Good luck, everybody. All right. Well, I see we're just about to round an hour. So
Might just give us part 3.
we could do that. We could do that. I have 2 coins. I have a Walker, which we already did, and I have a Morgan. Which one you pick? Which one do you want to do?
Hold on a minute. I'm a pushing buttons, Mark.
Yeah, I'll do the Ben Franklin thing.
Do what now? What?
I have a Walking Liberty $50, or I have a
Mhm.
Morgan dollar. So which one do you want to do?
Let's do the Morgan and then next week we'll do the Walking.
All right. Pop it out of the airtight.
Jonathan had more coins than I did.
Well, I thought we both had 5, but
I thought I had 5, and
things get moved around, Paul.
Yeah.
All right. I do not have a grade set for this. This is one from my grandfather's collection. Let me go up a bit. Hi, Paulie.
Hold on, I'm trying to find it.
All right, so there. The date will go around the rim. The stars, E pluribus unum. Actually, some decent hair detail. Liberty's full. You can make out the ear and the curls below the ear. 1921 is arguably the most common date for these. And the reverse.
That is a wonderful looking coin.
There's In God We Trust, United States of America. You know what? I don't even know if there's a mint mark on there. By Jove, there is. It's a Denver.
And what year was it?
1921. Tiny, tiny mint mark on these. So,
Okay.
let's get it back into focus. So I'm sure they're going to talk about the detail in the wings and the beak, probably in the wreath, in the arrows, and the tail feathers.
Good Lord, there's a bunch of stuff to look at on these.
Well, they're big coins. There's a lot of detail or details to take into consideration. But what do you...
All right. That means we don't have but 2 choices in my book.
Really?
We have very fine or extra fine.
No. Okay. Well.
Let me look right here. That is correct. I've only got 2 choices.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, it's better than very fine. I can tell that from the details. Let's go with
Let's just
extremely
jump
fine.
up. Well, let's look at extra fine. Says all hairlines are strong and ear bold. I'd have to say that is correct, Mundo.
You want to make this big so we can see the full screen this coin?
And then it flips. You just need to flip it. That's all it says about that. All
right.
hairlines strong and ear is bold.
Do you want to full screen this so we get more?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Get your mug off the screen, Paul. There we go. So you were saying the hair detail?
Hair detail,
Yeah.
hairline strong, and ear is bold.
Okay. I mean, the ear is bold. You see the detail there, the detail there. There's where the flatness there, but everything else looks good.
Yep.
All right. So flip it over.
Okay. It says for extra fine, eagle's feathers, all plain but slight wear on breast and wing tips.
Excuse me, where? The chest?
On the breast,
On the chest?
on the chest, the breast.
All right. Very well defined detail in these feathers. Very well defined details on the neck. I don't see any detail on the chest.
That was extra fine. So that's the only 2 I've got.
Okay. Well, extremely fine here for the obverse. The reverse says high points of the BR of chest are lightly worn. Well, they are. Tops of legs, wingtips, and feathers on head show wear. The tops of the legs, yeah, that's worn. That's almost completely worn.
Mm-hmm.
Wingtips, there's a little bit of wear there.
A little wear, but
That
you
actually
still
looks
got
pretty
detail.
good. And the feathers on the head show wear. Yeah, there's wear there. There's some wear there. Those are worn a bit. The talons are slightly flat. Yeah. I think that hits it. Could be a light strike too. That's right. These are just so big.
Hello, Ben and Sarah.
Hey. Hello, Ben and Sarah.
Polly Nichols.
Yeah,
Polly in the house.
Polly would be good at this too. He's a good grader.
Yep.
And the obverse, slight wear appears on the hair above the date. Slight wear. Yeah, some slight wear there.
Yep.
Above the forehead. Yeah. And the ear. Yeah, there's wear there. Slight flat spots are on the edge of the cotton leaves, which are these. Yeah, and that edge is worn. That's cotton, by the way. Those aren't cupcakes.
Dang.
Okay, I think it hits that. There are minute signs of wear on the cheek. Yeah, like right there, you can kind of make out a little bit of it. So I'd say it's definitely wear on the cheek. By the way, my guess is this has been cleaned too. Probably an old cleaning, because you can see how it's toning again. But so that's extremely fine 45. So I think that would hit extremely fine 45.
That is a good looking coin.
Doesn't say anything about Liberty, but Liberty is clear.
Clear as a bell.
Oh, the blueberry muffins? Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Morgan liked his muffins, huh? Well, back in the day, they liked their sweets, Polly.
Mm.
And Mark Thomas said, I'd go 45. And according to the reference I'm using, Mark, that is extremely fine 45. Yeah, I'll have to get Mark Thomas on here next time.
Yeah.
I think Mark said he's looking at PCGS photo grade. And I think when you do see the pictures, it makes a big difference. It really helps, for me anyway, zooming in on that initial grade, getting in the ballpark and then going up or down as needed. But, yeah. That was from Grandfather O'Brien's collection. So that's neat.
All right.
Well, Paul, that's not all I have, but we're going to save the rest for another time, perhaps, right?
I'll have to find me a couple more. Next week, we're going to grade that Rosie, silver Rosie that I dug up.
There you go.
Just to see what it grades out.
Okay. Next week, Paul, I have this left over, the Walking Liberty. I have another Buffalo that I got from an auction that Paulie got me hooked on Facebook. I can pull up some others. I have some. I'll get a Liberty V-nickel. Oh, we did one last time, though. I'll try to find some others. Maybe I'll find a large cent or something.
We may even look at the new quarters that Jonathan don't care too much about.
The new quarters. I really like the obverse because, like I said to Paul, if I remember the history, that is the design. What happens now, I assume, but back in the day, there's a committee. So engravers, sculptors would send their designs to this committee. This committee would vote and give that recommendation to the U.S. Mint. And the engraver was a woman. I don't recall her name, but back in 1932, there was a female, the only female engraver we've had up to that point, potentially. And she won the design, hands down. She won. And then it went to the U.S. Mint, and the old boys, the U.S. Mint said, no, we don't like that design. And the argument was in part because she's a female, and they had their favorites. And so they went with the design that is the classic design, like the one we saw tonight. So I like the fact that the U.S. Mint is going back and putting that design on the quarter, because I think that's only fair. The reverse designs, as much as I appreciate acknowledging the important accomplishments of different people in our society, in this case, 4 different women, I don't think any of those reverse designs are compelling. I really don't. In fact, Paul and I talked about this too. I got this in the mail. This is the U.S. Mint's 2020 Collector's Guide and has those quarters and other new offerings from the Mint. And I have some opinions on some of the things in here. I'd like to know what Paul's opinions are. We might go through this one time and just maybe next week, Paul, we can just do maybe 4 coins and then we'll go through this if you want.
Okay.
And I'll put this in my document camera and we can look and say yay or nay to the designs, because I won't give anything away, but it's a mixed bag. Typical of the U.S. government.
Well, guys, I appreciate everybody that joined us tonight. We run over a little bit. Of course, we started half hour later than normal.
My fault.
But wasn't all your fault, Jonathan. I had some things I had to take care of too. So
it happens.
It does.
There's just so much going on Saturday nights. You can't avoid,
Again, I apologize for running over for all the premieres we're doing. Dennis, Richie, main dirt sweepers. I think Mike is coming. Mike starts at 8.
7:30. I'm not sure.
7:30, something like that. Hey, Audra, we're closing out the show.
Hi, Audra.
Appreciate you coming in, though.
Watch the replay.
Yes.
AWR, like, subscribe, share. He's at 700.
Yes, we are at 700 plus. So remember, 750 mega giveaway.
I have
A
to win
lot of
mine to
people
you.
have donated stuff, but I'm going to say good night. Jonathan, if you'll hang on, we will.
So see you in the other streams, everyone.
Yeah. And we hope to see everybody later on. Jonathan, if you'll hang on, we'll close this out.
I shall.
As always, find something good, guys. We'll talk to you later. Well, it